Welcome, West Michigan, to Grand Tap Media, Breathe in the Grand Show, produced by Keim Concept. Your host, Pamela Keim. Please enjoy the show. Hi, welcome to Grand Tap Media Show, Breathe in the Grand. My name is Pamela Keim, and I'm with your very special guest and friend and your neighbor, Denise Kohler, who owned Kohler Expos. If you've not heard of that, they did the women's expos downtown, and she is a community leader. She is a coach of mine, and she is a successful entrepreneur. And I'm going to tap right into her and have her talk a little right off the bat on what it was like, Denise, real quickly, in the beginning here, and become an entrepreneur like 25 years ago when it wasn't chic or cool, because entrepreneurship is now, is the thing. People want to put their shingle out there. They want to have a business from home. They have an idea and they think, I can turn this into a business. But when you started back when I knew you 25 years ago, starting it wasn't the cool thing. It was a lot of hard work. And I think that you kind of want to tell people it's not what you think it is, even though they see like Bill Gates and all these people from Google. All these young people are making billions, some of them, at a very young age to these entrepreneurs. They have like an app that's going to turn them into a millionaire. But I want you to share with me what it was like for you and what gave you that like aha moment to say, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to start Kohler Expo. I'm going to do this women's show. Can you share with us?
Yes, I can share with you. And you're correct. Back 20 years ago, it's much safer to work for a company, and we had some pretty mainstream companies here based in Grand Rapids that provided good income and good jobs. But I saw an opportunity. I was actually in the consumer show production industry before I had children, and I saw an opportunity to bring a women's show, and we did not have one in here in Grand Rapids. So when I decided to take off with it, I had a focus in mind that I was going to provide information, solutions, and a good time for women when they came to our event. And we also didn't go with the name show because they were like, home show, boat show, sports show. We decided to be a little different and went with Expo. So that's where Kohler Expos, and that's why it was Women's Expo. We wanted to be just a little bit different. And yeah, and it took us about 3 years to really get on our feet. Our first show was at the Deltaplex, and it was okay. It was a great start, and then we just built from there. And then, even after that, 3 years later, we were asked to take over from another show producer in Lansing.
I remember that.
Yes, the Lansing sponsors came to us and said, hey, we don't want our promoter. Will you be our promoter? And met with them, and through some prayer time and stuff, we started the Expo in Lansing, which is still to this day the largest event at the Lansing Center is the Women's Expo.
Oh, really?
In Lansing, yes, it's a very big event, so it's a very key component over there in the Lansing market. And one of the big things is the medical that we bring to that show. We work with Ingham Medical Center, and they just do all kinds of testing, and it's just phenomenal what they offer to the women in that community.
Well, you had to make this decision. I've known you. You and I have known each other for years. I knew you before you started when you came out and say you wanted to do Kohler Expo. We're going to get right into it. I mean, you really had to reach into your faith to try to make this decision, because it was a huge decision. And I remember you were struggling with it and say, you know what, it's been weighing on me. But can you share with us, because a lot of people out there are thinking about starting a business, or maybe even taking their business from their home and finally putting, I guess, up a shingle and getting out there and really promoting. And maybe they're at a different season of their life. Maybe they were home doing something when they're children, and now it's like, oh my gosh, being women. Because you might see that now, more women in there like I'm doing. Now I'm in my 50s, and my children are raised, and now I want to say, you know what, I did all of that season, and now I want to maybe try something that I would never normally try. But it has been through me, through a spiritual journey too, to decide what I want to do. But is it the same when you were making this decision?
It was definitely based on a prayer, and you can confirm that with my husband, because we were going to second mortgage our house to take this risk, because one of the things that there's always some financial obligations, and one of them is you have to rent the building. And that was one of the reasons we went with the Deltaplex the first year, is because the rent was $15,000 cheaper than the Grand Center at that time. And
okay.
so, that was a big decision to not be right in downtown. And then the next year, we did some negotiations with the Grand Center, which is now DeVos Place.
Right, right.
Thank you for bringing us such a lovely convention center later in our years.
Oh, sure.
But, and at that time, we could only be on the terrace level, which was the basement level, because they didn't have room for it.